Hi Holly, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
Good. So what brings you to occupational therapy?
I had this pain in my wrist right here.
Okay, so you're kind of familiar with occupational therapy and what we do?
Yes.
Okay, so just to refresh your memory, we work with things that you do every day, things that interest you, things that you need to do, things that you want to do. So if you're having problems or difficulties with any of those aspects of your life, we work towards getting you back to where you want to be. So I see that you're wearing a splint. How often do you wear that?
Pretty much 24/7 unless I'm in the shower or, getting ready for bed or something, I might take it off.
Okay. So today we're going to do an assessment called the COPM, the Canadian Occupational Performance Measure. And this test is kind of just to see what aspects of your life you're having more difficulties with now because of your thumb, and just to get more familiar with you. So there's a few categories. There's self-care, productivity, so that could be work, management, stuff like that. And then the last one is leisure. So we're going to start off with self-care. So this could be things that you do every day, your daily routine. So we'll start off with personal care, just like dressing, grooming, things like that. So are you having any difficulties in that realm?
Yes, I am, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
I can't put my hair back into
Okay.
a tie to get it out of my face if I want to wash my face. It's much more difficult to blow your nose, believe it or not.
Okay.
What else do I have trouble with? Straightening my hair and things. It's hard because you really need two hands for that.
Okay, what about things like dressing?
It is difficult to get a sports bra on
Okay.
over my head and get it settled in the right position. And
Okay.
difficult to get it off.
Okay. And then the next category is functional mobility, so that could be things like getting around the house, getting out of bed, stuff like that.
I'm probably not having so many problems in that area.
Okay, what about getting around outside? So that could be driving, if you take the bus, things like that.
Well, I've been driving a manual shift car, so it
Okay.
is just a little bit more difficult because you have to hold the steering wheel and with the splint making everything stiff. Or when I wasn't wearing the splint, it could hurt if my wrist got rotated.
Okay, I could see how that could be a problem. So now that we have kind of some difficulties with self-care, we're going to rate them from 1 to 10. So I'm going to give you a little paper that has a scale from 0 to 10. So what would you say, doing your hair and putting your hair up, what importance would that be to you?
Well, it sounds silly, but it's kind of important,
Yeah,
so I
can
would
see
probably
that.
say like an 8,
An
maybe.
8? Okay. What about blowing your nose?
That's also kind of important.
Yeah, everyone's got
Another
a blown
8,
nose.
yeah.
Okay. What about putting on your sports bra, like you said?
Importance. Well, I mean, when you're trying to wear it, it's pretty important too.
Yeah.
I guess I would give that an 8 also.
Okay. And then you said driving your stick shift car. How important would that be?
Well, it's important, and that's how I'm running errands and getting to work, etc. So that's probably like a 9.
A 9? Okay. All right. So our next group is productivity. So just to give you some examples, you could do things like work, things that you get paid for, things like your household management. So that could be cooking, cleaning, stuff like that. And then like if you do any school classes or any like play activities you do. So we can start with paid or unpaid work.
Well, probably paid work. Most of the time I'm a phone nurse, and I hold the
Okay.
phone with my left hand and type and write with my right, and so it's difficult to hold the phone now.
Okay.
And if I was doing our normal nurse clinic jobs, which includes giving injections, I don't think I would be able to do that right now with this splint on.
Okay, yeah, I could see how that would affect that. And then what about household management or things that you do around the house every day?
Cooking things is more difficult. It's difficult when you're holding something that you're slicing, you know, an onion or vegetables, and you have to hold with one hand. It's much more difficult now. Opening, twisting motions are not good. So opening a jar or something along those lines, I really can't do.
Okay. And then what about any, you know, if you did any activities outside of work, like any play activities or something like that?
You mean, can I, like my leisure things, like yoga?
Yeah, well,
or
actually,
that's
if
gonna
you
be
want to get
later?
into leisure, you're in luck because it's our
Okay.
next group.
Okay.
So next we're going to move on to rating our productivity difficulties. So you can use your scale again.
Okay.
So what rank would you put for holding your phone when you said you worked?
The other part of work I forgot is typing on the keyboard is much more difficult. I kind of have to hunt and peck now. Well, holding the phone is easier for me to do, but more difficult, but less difficult than some of the other items. We'll say a 5.
Okay. What about giving injections and shots?
Well, I mean, importance-wise, if that was part of my role right now, it would probably be a 9 or a 10.
Okay. We'll give it a 10. What about typing?
7.
7. Okay. What about cooking?
7.
7. And opening jars. And you said like
Probably
twisting
about a 7.
motions.
Yeah,
in
the
the
other
kitchen.
problem with household items is I can't really do dishes
Oh, okay.
unless I take it off. And then I'm supposed to have it on, so.
How important would you say doing dishes and cleaning up the kitchen is to you?
Well, it's probably an 8.
An 8. Okay. So now we can move on to leisure. So leisure activities that you do if you're not obligated to perform in them. So that could include quiet recreation, active recreation, and socialization. So we can start off with activities that are quiet recreation. So maybe things that you do at home, like things that you enjoy at home.
Well, that would probably be along the lines of reading or reading stuff on the computer, and I guess it hasn't been impacted that much.
Okay. We can move on to active recreation. So that could be things, you know, that you're involved in your community, like any workout activities or something like that.
Yeah, well, my yoga has been greatly impacted.
Okay.
Yoga was probably part of the problem that started this, but I can't do plank anymore. They're wanting me to maybe do it down on my forearms instead, or just skip it, and downward dog is also a problem. So in the flow yoga that I do, it's kind of really messing it up because that's all part of the flow.
And how many times did you do yoga before your thumb was bothering you?
Well, I've been trying to go like 3 times a week, and I started the beginning of January.
Okay.
And my thumb in this whole wrist area has probably been bothering me for a month or more.
Okay. What about socialization activities? Are you having any difficulties with any of that?
I think that part of things is okay.
Okay, good. So then in our leisure category, how would you rate the importance of yoga?
Well, I kind of wanted to turn over a new leaf this year and really get involved with yoga, and I knew it would help the rest of my body. So even though it sounds kind of silly, it is like an 8 or 9 too, and
Okay,
it's
we'll put a 9
really
on
bothering me that I can't do it the way I'm supposed to be able to.
Okay, so it looks like your top 5 most important difficulties that you're having right now would be driving your stick shift vehicle that we talked about earlier, giving shots and injections, doing the dishes, and then doing your yoga. So we have 4 main categories that we're really having problems with. So, let's see. Our first one is driving. So you rated driving to be a 9. So now we're going to rate, like we've been rating before, but we're going to rate your performance. So with your, your diagnosis right now, how you think you're performing at these activities. So, because you do have a stick shift, so you have to use, more than driving an automatic car. How would you rate your performance right now of your driving?
Maybe like a 6 to 7.
Okay. And then what about your giving shots at work?
Well, that would probably be a 1 if I had to do it, because I just don't know if I can get my arm into the correct position.
What about doing dishes?
I gotta do them all.
Yeah, well, generally what I do is take the sling off and do everything to do them, and then my wrist just hurts. I mean, I can't really do it at all with the sling on, so I'm not sure how to rank the performance. Another 1?
Another 1? Okay. And then last, what about your performance at yoga? Or if you've completely stopped yoga?
Well, I've been trying to go. Maybe like a 4.
A 4. Okay, and then our last ranking is going to be kind of about your satisfaction with these difficult, like the satisfaction of how you're performing currently. So, pre-occupational therapy, pre any interventions besides your splint, how you're satisfied with how you're working right now. So, what would you rank driving?
So 10 is very satisfied.
Yeah, 10
and
is like
0
you are
is not
very
satisfied
happy with
at all. A 4.
4. Okay. What about giving shots?
That would be back. Well, 1.
Okay. And doing dishes?
3.
3. And what about yoga?
3.
A 3. Okay. So that kind of concludes the COPM assessment. And so now that we have like a better idea of what you're having difficulties with and how important things are to you and what we want to work on, we can make a plan for our further treatments. And then after we do, a few sessions, we do a few exercises, we'll go ahead and do a reassessment of this assessment and see how you're improving.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank
Sounds
you for your
good.
time.
Okay.